Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. We're back in Japan. Currently at Tokushima, and we're going to be flying from here down to Hiroshima in the ATR72-600. Topo Sky livery that you see here. It's another very early morning flight here in Japan. So let's get on board, get the aircraft up and ready to go. All right, here we are on board. Just get the tracker going. We are up on VATSIM, but there's currently no other traffic and no controllers online. Controllers kind of expected. We occasionally get some traffic down here at this time of day, but we'll see what happens. So let's go through the aircraft, get her all set up and ready to go. So all the cockpit preparations are done. Gear lever is confirmed down. Parking brakes are set. We'll pop up top now. Then we'll come up here to the battery. Battery is now on. And external power, AC and DC is now on as well. We'll turn on the dome lights, give us a little bit of illumination inside, and we'll get the nav lights on so they know the aircraft is all powered up. And we can begin the boarding process. Or not. It looks like let's see if I can get GSX to start from up here. There we go. I don't know why it wasn't coming up with the key, but that is fine. Now we can request our boarding now.
Boarding requested.
And we can use them for the service, so that's all good. Alright, so the nav lights is on. Warning system, we can come up and do that. Be careful not to pull the fire button here. So there's squib test. There's fault test and fire test. Right side, there's squib test, fault test, and fire test on the left side. Coming back down, we'll do a quick check. Gust lock is on. We'll get the prop brake on. We are going to be doing a... Well, let's take a look. Yeah, we're a little tight in here. We'll do a pushback. So we'll manually pump on the hydraulics here. And we can pop up now, and we'll open up the gate and turn on the prop brake, which it now says it's on, and we'll close that gate again. That's going to hold the number 2 prop in place. We'll get the signs on now. No devices, smoking, and emergency exit lights are all armed. Windshield anti-ice can come on as well. And down to the FMC we go. Alright, over to position initialization. We'll grab the GPS data. There we go. Aircraft now knows where it is. Nav data is as it is loaded in with the model. Again, wish we could update that. Not sure why it's not updating. I do have the Navigraph data in the sim, but it is what it is. If anyone knows how to update that, let me know. And let's get into the flight plan for today. So we'll bring up our sim brief. We are flying from RJOS, which is here at Tokushima, to RJOA, which is Hiroshima. We'll enter that there. There we go. And we'll put in our flight plan ID, which is Uniform Kilo Victor 5556. Our Skyways identifier. There we go, and we will execute. Route is in. Now we made a couple little changes from sim brief, so we'll just do that as we go. So for the weather, currently down here at Tokushima, I'll get the update. And we are looking about 35 minutes ago. And here's the weather. So we got a few clouds at 2,000 feet. Winds are 280 at 5 knots. 9 degrees, 1012. So we're going to be running off of runway 29er. And we are going to do the Tokushima Reversal 6. So it's a TSC6R, which is TSC6R. And we'll execute that. That's going to give us a flight out, and then it's going to loop us around So we climb to 3,000 feet, intercept, and then come back to the VOR and then carry on. Alright, so after the TSC VOR, we're going to go direct to Muro, which is Alpha Mike Uniform Romeo Oscar. We'll enter that in. There we go. That is entered in there. And then we're going to be doing our arrival and approach into Hiroshima. So we're going to be landing on runway 29. Winds are currently variable at 1. They've been kind of back and forth, flopping all over the place, but it has us going in a 29er. There is a bit of a mist. There's limited visibility, 4,500 feet. But there's clouds down at 500 feet and scattered layer at 1,000, broken at 3,500. So it looks like we got some cloud cover over there. So we're going to be doing the RNAV into runway 28. So I'll be on the next page. RNAV 28. And we're going to go in on the Vista arrival. On Vista. And let me just pull up the chart, see which transition we're going to do. Yeah, to Vista, and we're going to go... so no, we're going straight into Vista. So we're going to go with none. So that is good there. So we'll go to the next page. There's our descent down and then our arrival in. So Vista, we want to make sure we are at 3,300. So we'll hard code that in there, not do a 3,300 or above. And then if we come back to Buena, 2,800, and that is hard in. All right. So that is done for our flight plan. We can come in and do our weights now. So up to the flight plan. Let me just open her up. And all right, our zero fuel weight for today is 17,266. Kilograms, of course. And our fuel on board for today's flight is going to be 1580. That gives us our gross weight of 18,846. It's pretty close, and our reserves are going to be 376. And there we go. So that is all set. Our trim as the standard 1.1 up. That is all in, and our performance numbers we can look at. Our cruise altitude today is going to be 14,000 feet. I've told it to decrease all the numbers it gives us by 2,000 feet. It keeps seeming to put us a little bit high. Our alternate today is RJBB. It's Romeo Juliet Bravo Bravo. That's Osaka. I think the main airport at Osaka, not Kansai, the one we went into. And we're gonna go back to there at 10,000 feet if we have to. So we'll push that in there. And that is that. All right. So that's weights, performance, and units are good. So that is all in there. We can come in here to our takeoff performance. That's all entered in. And Rogers can go over to the flight plan. All right. So come in now. We'll set the altimeter to 1012. There we go. 1012 is set, cross-checked, and in the standby. So as per normal, since we are doing a start on stand here with the hotel mode, we have to wait for everything to be done, then call for pushback, and then when pushback is complete, right before they push, that's when we're going to start the engines. We're going to come down and do a quick check of the flight plan just to make sure everything is good. So we're going to be taking off. We're going to head out here to do the intercept, circle back over the transition, and then out on those points. All right, so that does actually look correct. just looking a little odd in the setup here. We come over now to our systems page. We'll bring up the engines so we have it all there and ready for us. So we're just going to clear all that flight procedure checklist stuff off of the screen. Alright, so that is everything done and everyone is on board. Scenery provided by FlightSim.to and the freeware airports there. There's a whole slew of them for Japan, which is what we've been using for the trip so far. Alright, so we're going to pull the tail prop, get that back door closed, get the cargo door closed, and the wheel chocks removed. Make sure the parking brake is all set. Alright, we're going to bring up the pushback. Get that ready to go. Here he comes. Yeah, we get our clearance now, but as mentioned, there's no ATC on board. So we're just going to be self-clearing. And it's going to be a short taxi. We're going to go tail left, nose right. Runway is just over there, the end of the bay there. Comes the tow motor. All right. So we're going to do a little bit here before we get going. So we're going to hear him saying release parking brakes a number of times. But he'll just have to wait for us. So we're going to come up, we can throw the beacon light on. I mentioned we're going to go nose right, tail left, so we'll be facing to our right. And there he goes. Okay, so we got that light on. We're going to come on and put on the wing lights are on as well. And we can go into hotel mode. So number 2, fuel pump's going to go on. And we are going to go to start AB. Quick look outside. Everything is clear. We will start engine number 2. We'll add fuel. You can hear the engine coming up. So we're just waiting for that to come up and stabilize. And there we go. So hydraulic power, blue and green have all come on. We're good there. AC Wild is going to be off for a little bit, but we got the engine up and going. So with that going, we can go through the rest of our checklist. We're going to go oxygen will come on. Takeoff data is set 104, 104, 110. And that is set there. FCP, we're going to come up and dial in our altitude of 14,000 feet. And there's 14,000 feet set. Fuel pump 1 will now come on. Fuel quantities are checked. Landing elevation is in auto mode. Seatbelt sign is on. Fuel used is reset to 0. And all the probes were going to come up. Probes will all come on. Everything else, AC Wild is the only thing that's not currently on. Engine 1 bleed is faulty because the engine hasn't started yet. And that is all good. DC engine fault. Alright, I'm going to increase the power. Alright, we're going to actually start engine number 2 rolling. So we're going to give a few pumps here just to make sure we got pressure. We can come up and disconnect the prop brake. That should go out. It is now unlocked. Engine's going to start to spin. As I mentioned, we're going to increase power a little bit. I want to get that fault light out if possible. It's probably going to stay that way because it's turning so slow. Alright, so we're going to put that condition lever into auto. Not the way the checklist has it, but that's fine. It's coming up. You can hear the change happening. We got prop RPMs now building. Alright, we're gonna, there we go, we'll disconnect the external power now. Ground power can go away. Bring up the flight plan. And we are ready for our push. Or we're almost ready for, we're ready for our push. So we'll come down here and release the parking brakes. Gonna clear. Alright, so power management, we're set to take off. Flight directors are on both sides. Radios 122.800. Of course. 122. And on number 2, 121.5. That is set. For nav, we're going to come down here. I'm going to take terrain on my side, and then for the transponder, we will be squawking 2000. That is set, and we're on standby there. Trim, we want 1.1. .1 is set. And everything else is good. So we're good to start engine number 1. There we go. Adding fuel. Clear the messages. See, we got the engine spinning up. Now, ideally, you taxi like this, one in full tilt, one on Federer or FTR, low power, but I find she pushes too much to one side and doesn't taxi very well, so we put them both to full bore mode. Should get the parking brake. Parking brakes are set. We have good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright, so both fuel pumps are on. Engine prop brake is off. Start mode selector is A and B. Engine 2 is up and running. Engine 1 is up and running. And we're going to go up on engine 1. There we go. Gear is unlocked. Flaps we're going to set for takeoff. Flaps 15. We'll worry about the hydraulics in a second. Control lock is disconnected. Flight controls and rudders are good. Autopilot will set in a second. We're looking good up top. No lights. Shut off the dome. Again, we got to keep the engines tickled slightly upwards, or else it drops off on the generators, which is a bit of a pain. All right, they're clear. Here's walking away. So we got the logo light on. Taxi light can come on. Wing lights are still on, so we're all nicely lit up and ready to taxi. So we're going to be heading this way. There's our taxi line down to runway 29er. Alright. So look, it's on. De-ice is all on. Bleeds are good. No white lights. Pitot heats are on. Start selector mode is off. Alright, we are good to taxi. So brakes are set. Let's taxi down. Tokushima area traffic, Skyways 5556, taxi and runway 29er via taxiway and holding short November 6. On the north parallel. Alright. Not too worried about the radio call since there is actually no one around. But that's fine. Well, beautiful morning here. Got some few clouds in the area. There's a bit more once we get over the hills towards Hiroshima, which is a beautiful place. I was there, oh God, it's coming up for 26 years ago, 25 years ago? No, 17 years ago. Really interesting, and has a great museum there, which I really enjoyed seeing. We're almost down to the end here. We'll get ourselves in and ready to turn around. Getting a short flight today. It's just under an hour as we head up to Hiroshima there. Again, the aircraft has its little flaws and stuff, but it's pretty fun to fly, and it's nice for something different, not the big jet airliners, especially on these shorter routes. And this is a nice little sightseeing hop as we head around. We should have a decent moon too. I think we're pretty close to a full moon if I remember right. Alright, let's just take a look around. It seems pretty, but I'm not seeing a moon. It looks like we got some light from the city bouncing off the clouds over there. Alright, we are here at the runway, so the strobes will come on. Taxi light is on for takeoff. Landing lights are on. Transponder we will turn on. Nav, we'll just make sure we're set TA above, and I've got terrain. Radios are set. I'm going to set Roger on the VORs. And I'll bring up my ND. I want that one at 10 miles with terrain, and Roger will stick on that one at 20 miles, and we are good. So transponder set to automatic torque is set to auto on both sides, and runways identified, and we are good. To start the clock, it'll start once we wheels up. Tokushima area traffic, skyways 5556, taking position runway 29er, Tokushima. Alright, let's move out. Do a quick config check. Config check, okay. Approach path is clear, and runway is clear. So we're going to take off, turn out over the water, head out to about 3,000 feet. Then we're going to turn around, come back, overhead the field, and then we'll pick up our course up over the mountains. So, a bit of a way to give us some altitude before we head over the mountains here. So that's per normal because there is no sound or feel to the takeoff power position. We're going to look down, set the throttle power levers into notch, and then we'll get ourselves ready to go on the last step. Alright, so there we are. Brakes are set. We can come down now. We're going to push the power levers up to notch. We'll see them click into place. There they go on both sides, but we don't feel that on the actual throttles I have, so we have to look down to do it. Clock is running. We are good to go. We're going to rotate at about 100 knots. So, brakes released. Tokushima area traffic, skyways 5556, departing runway 29er on the turnaround for the northern departure at Tokushima. Airspeed's alive. Alright, adding a little bit of back pressure in, not too much, don't want a tail strike. Let her lift off the ground. And we are up, positive rate, gear up. We are climbing nicely, so we're going to go autopilot, indicated airspeed, and nav. We'll let the aircraft start to climb upwards, and we're going to crank that indicated airspeed up. There's 150. We're going to flaps up. I don't know why we're turning. Oh, I know why we're turning. Well, we're supposed to be going out over the water. That's correct. Until 3,000 feet. Alright, we want to set to 170. And we're going to go into climb power setting. So gear is up, lights are out, flaps are retracted, power management set to climb, autopilot on, yaw damper is on. We're heading out to intercept the point here, and then we're going to head out. It should be until 3,000 feet, at which point we'll turn around and come back. We'll see what happens. We do have our climb set up. So we're going to turn off the logo and taxi lights, and wing lights can come off as well. So 14,000 feet is our transition. We're only going to 14, so we're going to keep on local pressure. I think it's actually going to fly us out to this point here. It did say it wanted us at 3,000 feet. Hey Brian, how's your trip going? Are you back home? Alright, so we got us going for the altitude. We are above 3,000 feet, so I'm gonna go just head direct to the airport again, TSC. So we're just gonna make the turn around and head back since we're now got the altitude that we're required. Still busy working? Well, it's a good thing it's a short flight now. A little bit of shipping down there on the water. Alright, so speed's doing good. We are climbing out. Again, we're only going up to 14,000 feet as we're going to try to keep the climb portion reasonable. There's the airport. So we departed off that way, came around, out over the water. Again, this is all to get altitude. You're back home now? Cool. This is all to get altitude so we can get ourselves up over the hills that are coming up. Alright, so that's the point I told us to head there, so it's doing this loop around and then coming back online. But we are pretty good. And we have 56 passengers on board today. It's not looking too bad. There's 6,000 feet. The good thing about this is we can leave the power levers where they are in this aircraft. Here in the notch position and just let her do her thing. It eventually gets us up to altitude. So we're going to be heading along the coast of this little area and then over the water to the main part. We're actually on an island right now. We took off. It is, let me find out what the name of that island is. Just have to pull up a map. Shikoku? Or is that the name of a town? Let's see. Yeah, Shikoku. Hokkaido is where we started. Honshu is the main island. We're down here on Shikoku. We're heading back to the bottom southwestern end of Honshu, and then we're going to go down to Kyushu, and then we're heading down to a couple of the islands south of that towards the end of the series. But we are looking good. There's 9,000 feet, so we got 5,000 to go. And we're now en route. We're 66.5 miles for our turn point, where we're going to turn onto the arrival and head in for the RNAV. Get a fairly short flight. Let's see. And it's saying we're 36 minutes to get there, and then it's just a couple minutes through each one as we head downward, so not too bad. And again, it's a nice day. Got the landing lights on still. This is going for 10,000 feet. And hopefully, again, we'll see a little bit of the sunrise. Oh, there's the moon. See a little bit of the sunrise. Almost full. We'll see what happens. So that's us through 10,000 feet. So landing lights will come off. And we can turn the seatbelts off in the back for whatever that works out to be, half an hour. I mean, we begin our descent before we even get to the next point, so. And we do have some restrictions. It's 11,000. About 11,000 feet, 9 minutes into the flight. You see we're still coming up on the coast of the smaller island here. Then we're going to cross over, and this is the main island. Hiroshima, of course, is a port city. One of the reasons it was chosen to be bombed during the Second World War. And as I mentioned, they've got a fantastic museum and memorial set up there, which was really, really interesting and moving when I was there. And I'm sure it still is. So we're looking good. You can see where we're headed. I mean, we're within the 80-mile ring here, and we're already showing everything, including our destination airport. So not a long flight today. So we're going to be heading, landing. It's going to be a right turn off when we get there. And we'll be heading into the parking spots. There is no real terminal area as far as I can see. Looks like it's all just stand parking. So we'll just pick one and head in. It looks like we're going to begin our descent when we cross over that section of the coast there. We're coming up for top of climb, 14,000 feet. Of course, we do have to be cautious. We do have mountains here, although we're not actually going to be going all the way into the top of the mountains. We're kind of just going in a bit from the coast and then turning back to the coast. So, should not be a concern. Right, 400 feet to go. Alright, we're in Alt-Star, capture for 14,000 feet. Nose is starting to come down. Speed's starting to go up, so we're going to go into cruise mode now. Change our power settings for cruise. That should bring us up close to 200 knots. We do have a bit of a headwind coming off the left, so that's slowing us down a little bit. And you can see we're having to crab just over 10 degrees. Needed a coffee? Yeah, no kidding. How's your snow situation up there? I walked out this morning with Molly, and we had it wasn't a little covering of snow, but there was a couple little patches I could see of some snow on the ground. Although I was seeing in the news, they were talking, I guess, out of Georgian Bay area, they're 30 centimeters over the next few days of lake effect, which kind of sucks. Another airport down there. It's still over the smaller island here, but we can make out the channel between Shikoku and Honshū here. Had a dusting last night. Yeah. We had some pretty heavy rains yesterday. Surprised we didn't get more snow. Alright, we'll let those VORs auto-tune. That's all good. It is. It's a couple degrees warmer. It's because of all the concrete. This whole area just is a big heat sink that stays a little bit warmer than everything else. I remember back in my army days, we were coming back from Meaford, driving along the south shore of Georgian Bay, and we could actually see the lake effect, like boiling off of the lake and then dumping near Barrie. It was pretty impressive to watch. Alright, so we're just about to leave the coast here. I'm going to cross over the channel. And when we get to the other side, we got this little bit we got to cover here, but when we get up to the main part, this is where we're going to begin our descent. And we can see, like, right ahead, there's the channel there. This is looks like Kurashiki, and come on the coast, and then we begin our descent just past it. Oh, so we got a freeze. There we go. We're back. Alright, so as we're coming up, let's get the current weather down in Hiroshima. I know it was looking bad. So this is from... This is very dated. Let's see if I could find something a little more recent. Alright, Well, the Met Air Station is 70 kilometers away from the airport. This report came out about 20 minutes ago. Winds are calm. Scattered clouds at 3,000, broken 6. 11 degrees, 294. That's wrong. It's going to be using, it's 1014. Alright, so looks like the fog or whatever they were having is clearing. Probably some overnight mist coming in off the water. 6,000 foot ceiling, I'm fine with that. And no real winds, so we're good there as well. So the weather's looking good. Yeah, pup's getting big. She goes for her spay surgery on Thursday. And the last time I took her at 4 months, she was just over 10 pounds. She was just under 5 when I got her at 2. I'm saying she's got to be up in the 13, 14 pound range now. She's getting big. She's a lot of hair. She's only had a couple puppy cuts. So, sorry, this Thursday she's going for puppy trim. Next Thursday she goes for her surgery. So it'll be interesting to see after she gets a full first cut how big she actually is. But yeah, and then the first Thursday there, I think it's the 7th of December, she goes for surgery. So yeah, she's 6 months old in a couple days. I mean, she's not going to be that big. She's only going to be somewhere in the 20 pound range. But she's getting there. She's all her baby teeth are gone, I think. She's got all her adult teeth in now, and definitely she's a hormonal teenager. Actually, I was surprised how well house training. The very first night I brought her home when she was 2 months old, I put her in the crate for the first night, expecting to be woken up with her whining and all that stuff. Slept right through. Yeah, she stayed in that crate for the first 3 months every night. Never whined, never woke up, never peed or anything in the crate. She'd sleep right through the night, 7-8 hours, no problem. Had a couple little minor pee issues early on in the training, but she's really, really good, and no other issues, and she's great now. She lets me know when she wants to go outside and everything, and she only goes into the crate if I'm going away for more than 20 minutes, half an hour at the moment. She sleeps outside of the crate through the night, so she's doing really good. Hey Kevin, how's everything? Hope you're doing well. And hope things aren't too busy for you. So another nice night, moon's up and everything. There's Kurashiki below. We're back over the main island here of Honshū. And everything is going well. So we're going to start dialing in. We're going to go down to, what's our minimums here? Minimums for the LNAV VNAV are 1440. So we're going to set to 1400. Semester finishes Thursday. Oh, cool. So when do you break for the winter? If the semester finishes at the beginning of December, what do you got left before the Christmas break? There we go. So we're down to 4,000 feet, or no, sorry, we went 1,400 feet. and that will give us just below minimums, so that'll take us right down on the RNAV. Yeah, doing good as well. Enjoyed the flight. That was a long flight yesterday. I know we got when we come back, the next one's going to be almost 12 hours. That's going to be a good one as well. Let's set the minimums down here. We'll make sure we're on MDA on both, and we're going to set that to 1440. Oops. No, stop that. 1440 is set. We're also going to come over here and arm VNAV. So we're VNAV path. And we're waiting for the intercept now on our descent. So we're going to carry on as we descend over to Amuro and then on to the arrival as we come in and around. We'll make our first call here at Amuro, which is the entry point into the Vista RNAV arrival. Oh, so you're going to be around for all the Christmas flights then, is that what you're saying? Alright, so we're on our way down. We've gone on the path, so we're going to pull the power back, bring our speed down to 200 knots for the descent. We'll let that come back. We're also going to pop up here. We'll get the seatbelt signs on in the back again, and of course we will just give them the chime. So even though we got a 56 knot wind up here, we should be good down on the bottom. Set that to below now. And yeah, we'll go into 20 miles. Watch that speed. We're not as steep as I thought we were going to be, so we'll add a little bit of power. So tomorrow we're back in Canada. We're doing the next stage there. We're heading up north, talking about snow and everything. Oh yeah, going to, okay, yeah, that's cool. Last flight's the 24th, so it should be good there. So you should be able to make that last one as we come towards the end. So yeah, tomorrow we're back in Canada. We're doing the next leg on the Canada tour. Wednesday we're back in the States where we have an aircraft substitution, and we'll be carrying on with our U.S. Capitals tour. And then we're done for the next few weeks. Thursday we have off, and then on December 1st, the Friday, we start our 2023 Christmas series. 15 flights around Northern Europe, and we're going to draw a Christmas tree in the sky. So that will be fun. And as I mentioned, I will post a image of my Volanta when we're done up on the Discord, and we can take a look at the beautiful Christmas tree we'll be drawing out with the aircraft. So we'll be hitting lots of Northern European airports, which should be pretty good. There's 11,000 feet. And we're going to be turning left here, heading back to the coast, and then in on the arrival. Hiroshima area traffic, skyways 55, 56 at Amura. Descending through 10,500 feet inbound on the Vista RNAV arrival for the RNP runway 28 Hiroshima. Alright, so a few restrictions we've got here coming down. We've got to be, well, it was above 8,000 at Amura, which we are. We have to be between 8,000 and 6,000 at Carroll. See where it says window. We have a window we've got to go through. Above 4,000 at Tita, and then at Vista itself, we have to be above 3,300. Right now we have that 6,000 foot restriction. We're heading down to, well, speed's coming up a little bit. We'll get that speed back. And airport elevation is 1,086 feet. And if you look off about 1 o'clock, we can see the airport. It's right over there. Again, try to keep that speed around that 200 mark. It's hard to do in this airplane because you bring the throttles back to idle, and it's like a massive power drop from a little bit of power to idle. Like a millimeter movement on the joysticks, and it's like slamming the door shut. So gotta kind of be careful with that. Slowly start bringing the speed back. Now there's 7,000 feet. We're heading to 4,000. Bring that speed back to 170. As we pass through 185, we'll go flaps 1. There's 184, 183, flaps 1. So the ILS and DB frequencies are checked, not required. Power management. Is set to takeoff. Flaps are as required. Approach mode will go into as we approach Vista. I'm going to power up, make sure we maintain around 170. We are showing the horizontal and lateral deviation markers. So we're good there. Get that speed back. We don't want to go into the red, but we are looking good and on target. Nine and a half thousand foot runway roughly. We should be off before the apron, so should be good there. All right, so that's us through Tilda. We're going to head to Vista now. Watching that speed. Looking good. Weather's good. No other aircraft in sight. Alright, we're 4 miles out. We're going to go to approach mode. The final path is set. Again, we are on an RNAV. Once we make this turn, we're going to bring our Speed back below 150 and we'll go flaps 2. Drop the gear. (3,300) is our altitude for Vista. Looking good. And there we go. There's the turn. Keep that speed up until we're through the turn. There's the airport ahead. All right. Make sure everything is on. That speed coming down slowly here. We got a little bit of space. That wind pushing in slightly from the right, but it was reporting 0 knots at the ground, so we'll see what happens. We're about 8 miles. Let the speed drop below 150. There's 150. Full flaps, gear down. And then we'll keep the speed up about 130 for a bit. Until we get within about 4 miles, and then we'll bring her back. So gear down 3 green, flaps are set for landing, cabin notified lights are all on, no cautions, runway is in sight. Come over and look at our performance. It's giving us a landing speed of 101 on the approach. We'll pull it back to there. We'll see how it does. We're looking good, maintaining that 130. It's 5 miles. Hiroshima area traffic skyways 55, 56, established RNAV runway 28, 4 miles, Hiroshima. To go, 1,600 feet off the ground. Start bleeding that speed off. 114. Not trusting the radar altimeter because I think there's a valley here before the runway. It's kind of raised up slightly.
Approaching minimum.
Alright, I have control. So got that wind.
Minimum.
Continue. Airspeed 108. Slightly low on the visual. Bring the nose up. 105. Power. 102. 103.
500.
500. A little bit of a kick on the wind there.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
So it's down. Reverser's on. Get the nose down. On the brakes, 60 knots. 59. Reverser's off. And there we are. Welcome to Hiroshima. We're going to get off here at Tango 3, and that'll take us right into the eastern part of the gate. Oh, looks like we do have a terminal building. Well, it's not shown on the charts, but there it is. The tail's in one piece, yes. Did not scrape it this time. Hiroshima area traffic, skyways 55, 56 clear, runway 28 at Tango 3, taxiing to the apron. Alright, let's get the flaps up. Landing lights off, strobes off. Yeah. I didn't strike it on takeoff either, so I'm getting better? Big question in my voice. See if we can see where we're headed here. Yeah, we'll go in over here. We'll take the first spot. Parking spot numero uno. We'll go to taxi light off. I don't know if that's it or not. Looks like they might park general aviation airplanes in here, but we're coming in on the big boy, in quotes, parking spot here. Oh. See, that's what you get when you go straight down to idle. You lose all your power and hydraulics. What a pain that is. Alright, so that is that. Let's see if
You
it'll...
need to stop the engines to request ground services.
Oh, alright.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
Right. So here we are. Flaps are up, transponders off, strobe lights are off. Well, transponder's not off. Let's get in here. Transponder's now off. Come back to my normal position here. Beacon light is on. Nav lights are on. Those are all off. Wing lights can come off now. We'll get the external power in a second. So what we're going to do is engine 1. We're going to bring both engines back into that. We're going to come up here and go with the prop brake and get our... It's not going to do it because I got no hydraulics. That's fine. Let's go down here. We'll manually give some pressure. Still not going to do it, are you? Should be doing it. Not going to worry about it. We'll just go for the full shutdown. Alright, power back. Shutting down the first engine. And shutting down the second one. Sounds like an improvement anyway. Funny guys. I'm not seeing you flying the ATR here, Kevin, so be nice. Alright, let's get back over here. We'll get the ground power in, the doors, everything up and going.
This parking is too small for your
Blah,
aircraft.
blah, blah.
The boarding requested.
Yeah, A&A can do it. And we'll come up here, get the power on, fuel pumps off, beacon light off, nav lights will stay on, seatbelt signs can come off. Well, folks, here we are in Hiroshima. Thanks for coming along. Kevin, Brian, hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for flying. We will see you all
Passengers bus is
tomorrow.
coming.
Take care. Bye for now.